Hello, everybody. My name is TJ, and I'm here with my brother Tim, and we are the Yinzer Bros. We are here with our special Pittsburgh Steelers draft preview. The draft is only a few days away, and just like everybody else, we are getting ready to offer our opinions for what we think the Steelers should do, because that's what we are. We're Yinzers. Tim, did you know that Yinzers have opinions?
Yeah, I was in Yinzer land this week, and the opinion in Yinzer land is 95% of Yinzers hate Mike Tomlin. That is the god-awful truth.
That's most of our Greek family. Let's
True.
just be real. So for those you don't know, Tim and I were back for a large Greek gathering. Our Aunt Mimi turned 90 years old, and there was a gaggle of Greeks. I mean, there were a lot of us, weren't there, Tim?
There was a lot of Greeks, man. A lot of Greeks.
And we got to do some stuff. We went down the Strip District. We went to PRIMANTIS. By the way, PRIMANTIS, if you're listening, we're still waiting to hear about the sponsorship letters that we've sent over and over and over. It must have been lost in the mail. I don't understand why we're not sponsored by PRIMANTIS yet, Tim.
I don't get it either. I think I heard the rumor on the block is Eden Park started to slide in
Hey,
quickly.
I have no problem putting a smiley face background here. Do you?
I don't either.
Smiley face cookie? We'll do it.
No,
So
not at all.
actually, talking about our trip, Tim and I were down at the Strip, and we had a pretty ridiculous experience. We were just walking on the Strip
Mhm.
and down the Strip District, and there was a place. What was the place called? Yinzer what?
Yinzer some store.
Yinzer something. Yinzer something. I don't remember what it is, but they sell stuff. The guy was super nice, and
Yeah.
we were actually doing some content for Yinzer Bros there. I had my phone out. We're doing our stuff, and the guy stopped us, and he's like, "Man,
Yes.
are you guys like Yinzer Bros? The Yinzer Bros?" And we're like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, we are. We're the Yinzer Bros."
yeah.
And it was like, did you feel the moment, Tim? I felt the moment, the connection, and all the stuff. Did you feel all that?
It went just like that too. He was like, "Yinzer Bros?" Like I couldn't believe it. Just like as you said, TJ.
It's incredible. So then he invites us in, and he gives us, and I'm not making this up, a tour of the whole facility. Like
Yes.
we are walking in places that only the highest regarded podcast people I think have ever seen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I was in a back room.
We could have died. We could have died, Tim.
I thought the floor was going to just drop out, and we were just going to you never see us again. But
It was ridiculous.
yes, they loved us.
It was magical. We got a ton of footage that we're going to put up on everything so everybody can see it. But it was absolutely nuts. And then, you can't go to the Strip District without, hitting some shops. We got some
Yep.
T-shirts.
I got the draft hat.
That's a good looking hat, Tim.
Yes, it is. We got the if you can see it, the the city logo on the side, the Steel City football logo, PA.
That's a
It's a
good
nice
one.
little hat.
I wonder if Omar, do you think he wears hats like during draft day, or does he grow chrome just like what you do most of the time?
I think he just wears a crown. That's
He
what I
should.
think. I think he puts the crown on and just goes.
He should. So we're there walking
Omar
around.
looks sweaty in that picture, like he glistening.
He does. So we're walking around. We do all the stuff.
Yes.
We get all the stuff. We stop at the place. We get cookies
Yep.
for the Greek festival. So then I go back the following thing. Tim's got to leave, and I actually stop at the candy store. And there in front of the candy store, Tim, was a dancing Oompa Loompa.
Was it again?
Have you ever seen an Oompa Loompa in the wild, Tim? I'm talking like in the wild.
There's
Pretty,
been a couple.
pretty breathtaking.
I've had some long nights in the city of Pittsburgh, the city of Chicago. May have spotted an Oompa Loompa dancing around here and there in my mind. I don't know.
So Tim and I had one of the greatest Chicago experiences ever. This is probably 25 years ago now. He and I are walking. It's like nighttime in Chicago, which
This
is
my
a little dicey.
first time in Chicago.
Yeah, this is. It's a little dicey. So we're a little nervous to be down there because I don't know if you've read anything in the news. Chicago could be like, considered, I don't know, a war zone, like, I don't know, Bosnia, something like
Yes.
that. So we're walking toward the ESPN Sports Zone and just minding our own business. Two Yinzer Bros there for a good time, minding our own business.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, a dude jumps out of the bushes, and he had like an eye patch. He goes, "Arg!" And I almost crap myself. And I look behind me, and Tim like turned into like a world-class, like Olympian sprinter, and he's gone.
This is when the knees were working, the shoulders were
It's
working.
right. When all the parts are working. And the dude looked at me and goes, "Scare you for $1." And just because of the distance that Tim got, I gave the dude $5. I was like, that was like the greatest thing ever. And then we went to the sports zone afterwards, and we probably spent another $100 there just doing
If he would do that, or if that would happen to me as of today, there's nothing I can do. I probably would have just fell there, gave my wallet to have mercy on my soul.
just rolled over. No, just rolled over.
And I will. We also have some nice clips. We may post them of while we were there. We enjoyed the beautiful amusement park of Kennywood. If any of you guys have ever been there,
did.
So there may be some interesting videos from there.
Yes.
Just to kind of, there were some tight squeezes. So that's the only cliffhanger I'm gonna leave with. Some tight squeezes.
Hey, anytime you get the Yinzer Bros side by side, that is not a normal bench or seating thing. So we did do the Kennywood thing.
A roller coaster could have been, it could have been struggling. I mean, a roller coaster could have been struggling with us in the
It was.
us in the
We
chairs.
had a ton of stuff. I mean, so, and I got to tell you this too. I mean, I know Chicago pizza is great. New York pizza is
Yes.
great. I miss Pittsburgh pizza. So we had Pittsburgh pizza, and it was phenomenal.
It was fantastic. But
It was
I will
phenomenal.
tell
What was
you,
the name of the place we went to? What was it called? Fiore's or
something with an L, Lori's, Roy, or something like that. It was fantastic.
It was an F.
But
Fiore's. Didn't it start with an F?
Fiore's. You're correct. Fiore's.
So it was really, so Fiore's. If you're out there and you're listening, we will take sponsorships too.
You give me that pizza was amazing. But I will tell you, I've been back for what, a day and a half. Nothing but salads. I mean, there's been nothing but salads because my body is.
Yeah, we ate a lot.
I saw some pictures of myself from that trip, and I just said, I didn't even like the human that I saw in those pictures. I said, we need it. Enough's enough.
It's time for a change.
I may just starve myself for the next couple days. Just
That's not a bad strategy. Tim, there's one picture that's maybe we'll put it on social media.
Don't put that. Please don't put that on social media.
It's pretty rough.
It doesn't. I kind of look like an Oompa Loompa. If you want to go,
like a large Oompa Loompa. If they have the larger varieties,
I look like the little girl when she eats the chocolate and they roll her out.
You do. It was pretty rough. And then I didn't even tell you this as we're driving to get like the pizza.
Yeah,
we're like basically on the south side of Pittsburgh in a city environment, and a deer jumped in front of the car and almost hit us. In the city. Where's
so
the deer?
The deer almost hit you, or did you almost hit the deer?
No, the deer. Well, he jumped out, or she did.
Okay.
I think Bambi almost took me out. That's all I'm going to say. Bambi almost took me out. I think it was. I don't know. Did the deer have the antlers? There's no antlers on this deer.
That's a girl. I believe it's a doe.
It's a girl deer. You can tell we're great woodsman hunters. I think it's a chick. It's a chick deer.
I'm looking back on it. May have saved me of a picture if the deer would have jumped out and hit my car. That would never be seen in public. Yeah.
So we had a ton of experiences. We saw a ton of family we haven't seen forever. Yeah. A lot of great experiences. So I mean, so there we go. So we're back fresh from Pittsburgh.
I will tell you, but here's my greatest part of the whole entire trip.
Yep.
We're at Kennywood. My wife is riding a ride with my lovely daughter and my sister-in-law, and me and the Yinzer bro, we decided, hey, we're gonna go play a game, or we look at each other like, hey, let's go get the ice cream that we want. We haven't had these little square ice cream cones.
The best.
So as we cross this magical bridge, who do we see? Kenny the kangaroo.
Kenny the kangaroo.
Kenny the kangaroo. So as I, call my wife to say, hey, where you guys at? Let's get some pictures with Kenny the kangaroo. My wife tells me, hey, make sure Kenny the kangaroo doesn't leave. I'm a grown man holding two ice cream cones. trying to lock Kenny up so he doesn't leave. Awful situation. Situation.
What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to tie him up? Or are you supposed to just sit on him? What are you supposed to do, Tim?
I don't know. It's not good when you got a grown man of my age and he's there for the kids. He's actually holding a sign up. I got to go ride with Jacob, the kid. It's his last wish. He wants to ride with me, and I'm trying to dodge. I'm trying to box Kenny in.
You look like Charles Barkley getting a rebound. You're boxing.
I'm online holding two ice cream cones, going like this. And I looked at myself after Kenny left, and I go, "What is wrong with me? I look like yeah."
Kennywood still holds up. It's not bad.
And come to find out, my daughter freaked out. Didn't even want a picture with Kenny. So yeah, that was a humbling experience.
Let's just be real. He was a pretty rough looking kangaroo. I mean, he was not. I mean, a lot of the park was updated. They did not put any money into that Kenny suit.
I'll tell you right now, man, the condition I was in, no chance of me tracking down Kenny. Kenny was off, and there's nothing I could do about it. I couldn't walk with him. I couldn't run with
Yeah.
him. I couldn't do anything with him.
Now, Tim made a strategic error. He started to wrestle his youngest nephew, Toby, and he beat him. He
Yes, I
brought the
did.
beat down. We won't put that video on.
TJ, you put that video on there. That's the end of the Yinzer brothers.
We won't put that video on there.
Please
But
don't
let's
do
just
that.
say this: Tim won the battle, but he lost the war. Let's just say that because his knee was hurting pretty bad after that.
Yeah, hurting's not even the right word. I was iced up, braced up,
Yeah, it was pretty
and I
rough.
couldn't breathe for about 35 minutes afterwards. It was like
That's
somebody. It was like I smoked a carton of Newports right to the face. Um,
it was pretty rough. I think my favorite moment may have been so Tim, we're at Kennywood, and this is Tim is confident, and back in the day,
I don't think we should. We don't
Tim
need to
was a
get
good
into the
athlete
story.
back in the day, and when we say back in the day, we're talking like 20 plus years ago, right?
I mean, you can.
So
It's a long
Tim is
time.
talking about he's a basketball player. He's talking about, he wants to do the shooting the basketball hoop because you win one shot, you win this great big prize. He goes, I don't want to do it because I don't want to have to walk around with this great big prize. So again, so Tim finally it's toward the end of
Those
the day.
exact words did come out of my mouth at about noon.
They did. So
Yeah.
so toward the end of the day, him and Toby, John Harris, the tall small Harris, starts trash talking, and they decide to have a competition of who's going to win these prizes, this prize for Olivia, Tim's daughter, Toby's nephew or cousin. So the worst thing that could happen to Tim happens. They go head to head, and Toby sinks a bucket and Tim doesn't. So Toby gives her this dog that's like it's huge. It's the biggest dog I've ever seen in my life.
That dog is haunting my like my every time I go down the stairs. I
It's
think it's a
huge.
human. It's there. It's staring at me right in the face. I think it's coming alive, and it's just
It's
to make fun of me.
well, it's like one of those Macy's Days Parade things. So, as if that's not enough, there's another set of hoops in a different place. So, Tim uses this as the opportunity to get his perfect revenge. Except, guess what happens? He loses again. In fact, he has an opportunity to put the pressure on Toby, but he says, "No, Toby, you shoot before me." And what does Toby do? He drains that last one, and he wins a banana that's like 6 foot tall. So Toby wins all this stuff for his cousin and Tim. What did you end up getting? Did you do like a crane thing where you picked up like a ball or something out of a crane? What did you
I,
do?
I picked up Papa Smurf out of the little hand that goes down and picks up stuff. I was 0 for 18 at basketball.
Yeah,
0
it
for
was bad.
18.
Oh, for
0
it.
for 18.
So just to put it in vernacular terms too, that's like $60 down the drain.
0 for 18. I was blaming everybody except
Right.
myself. Even the guy there, they're still convinced that those rims are wizardry, not right, and Toby just has crappy form, and that's how he made it, and I had perfect form. That's why I didn't make it.
That's probably exactly what happened. So we had a great time in Pittsburgh. Now we turn to the mock draft. As you know, the draft is coming up here, and we're going to give you the Yinzer Bros. Tim and I both did a mock draft. But before we go there and we share a mock draft, before we go there, Tim, what do you think are the biggest? What are your biggest needs for the Steelers? Give me your top three needs. What do you think their top need is?
I think their top need is a center. They need a
Okay,
center. They have a guy like me and you playing center right now. I don't even know if there is a guy playing center right now. Omar might be playing center at some point.
he
The way
might
he's
be.
looking in that picture,
Mhm.
the picture that we're going to keep under wraps. I could possibly take a couple snaps at center. Who knows? I look like I may have the reach of the little arms, like a little T-Rex that can't move. Um, I would say center.
Mhm.
Center tackle, wideout is my big three bugaboos for this team to be
Mhm.
drafting.
I would flip the order just a little bit. I think they need. I think first of. I know it sounds weird. I mean, they can get a center in the second or third round, so I'm not worried about them going first. I think they need to either look at a wide receiver in the first round, unless they make a trade, because I don't. I mean, I like George Pickens. I don't trust him to be the guy.
I
Not
said
yet.
I said he had 3 years as a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah.
This will be year three.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Cuckoo George, that's what I'm gonna start calling him from now on.
Yeah.
Cuckoo George
He
is
could show
about
up.
to.
He
He's
could.
gonna show up this year. Cuckoo George is gonna be. He's gonna be. We're gonna be
Yeah.
going week 8. Like here goes Cuckoo George again. He's throwing water bottles and throwing helmets.
My heart would be that they grab a tackle in the first round, but I think it wouldn't surprise me if they don't. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't. And they do need another cornerback. I don't know, what's going on. So let's talk about our mock draft. Before we get to there, let's take a peek under the Yinzer mailbag. What is the Yinzer mailbag? It's when you, the fans, the people, we are a podcast for the peoples. When you get to ask us anything you want. Again, we're an international podcast. We have listeners in Canada. And apparently we've got listeners in Pittsburgh. We had a few people that had mentioned, Yinzer Bros, and I was feeling pretty good. So Tim, is there anything in the Yinzer mailbag?
Yeah, we got some stuff. The mush kind of
all right.
hemmed
Let's see
in.
what we got.
First question: more disappointing, Steelers season last year, the Penn season this year. And I do want to caveat this. When the Pens were going on that run, I get a text from the mush, the game they lost the game Boston they were playing when they needed to win big time. I got a picture of him in South Carolina having the game tuned on, ready to watch the Pens game. I go,
kiss of death.
I don't even know why I watched it. I go, this
Kiss
is
of death.
stupid.
Yeah, just kiss of death.
More disappointing, Penn season or Steelers seasons? I mean, you can go ahead.
By far, I think it's the Penn season.
Oh, of course, man.
Yeah, by far.
Of
I
course.
didn't tell you this. So on my last day down at the Strip District, I did make a purchase. All the Penn stuff was 50% off, so I bought a Lemieux sweater.
I saw that, and I was going to buy one at one of the stores, but all they had was like triple and quadruple X's.
They had the one. I got the last XL that they got. They had XLs and then triple X's.
Congratulations!
So I got the last one, and it fits like a glove. It was born for me, and it was half
good jersey. That's a good jersey.
It's a nice jersey. It's high quality.
That's a good jersey.
So I'm going to say the Penguins lost. I thought the Penguins were going to put it together, and boy, did they fall like a house of cards.
I agree, man. It was disappointing to watch. I was thinking I was getting ready for some playoff hockey. Nothing like playoff hockey. Just
I know
fell
it's my
apart,
favorite.
man.
And then it's now people are like, "Hey, you watching the games?" I'm like, "No,
Of course not.
hockey's dead to me now. It's dead to me
is.
till next year. Dead."
So, next question: how about them Buccos? How many wins do you think they'll have this year?
I got my hopes up real high. Now they did win last night. They did beat Milwaukee.
They won again tonight.
There we go. So you know what? Maybe they're back in the uptick because at that point they dropped 6. I'm going to say. I'm going to say they're going to win. Their division is not the greatest.
Well, I think their division's everybody's almost over 500 division so far.
It is now, but we'll see where it plays out. I'm going to say they're going to win 84 games.
I'm going to go with 87. And the reason why I'm saying that, TJ, I don't even want to call him by name. All I'm going to call him is the choo-choo train. Choo-choo's coming. The choo-choo train's coming.
He is scary.
The choo-choo train is coming, and I think when he comes up, he's gonna immediately be a top 10 pitcher in baseball. The choo-choo train is coming. That dude Paul Skeens is filthy.
Oh, he is. He's on. I mean, and then the dude that pitched what's his name? The dude that pitched last night. Is it
Jones?
Jefferson Jones? Dude, he's scary too.
They got when you got the choo-choo train, Jones and the guy they signed from last year, the dude long term, I don't know what his name is. They signed this year or whatever. There's a third.
Keller.
That's a pretty good top 3.
It is.
That bullpen's pretty good. You get any run production.
Oh,
TJ,
we hit like you and me are out there.
The choo-choo train's coming, and that dude is nasty.
He is a generational pitcher.
He's gonna make a hell of a Yankee in like 5-6 years.
He will.
Hell of a Yankee.
He'll be there. He'll be there.
The choo-choo train is coming,
Why
and
don't
that
they
dude.
Why doesn't he just sell the
nasty.
team to Mark Cuban and put some money into this thing, man?
Because he stinks. If anybody in Pittsburgh, if anything, like Kenny Kangaroo, pretty rattly out, pretty beat up, stinks a little bit. That owner, nothing stinks more than anything.
They got to fix baseball. They need to go to a salary cap. This collective bargaining crap is awful.
But I will tell you, that choo-choo train is coming, and
he's scary.
He's getting me off my couch in Chicago to maybe take a trip down to Wrigley if that dude's playing down at Wrigley. But I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go. The choo-choo train's coming. He's coming.
I got to be honest with you. The mustache a little creepy.
No, on that dude, I don't care what he could. Choo-choo train's coming. All right. He's like, I see Russell Wilson all over town. I have, and I'll tell you right now, dude. I seen a guy go to a Pens game. They got crushed. I seen him go to a baseball game. They got absolutely annihilated. That dude should just stay away from other sporting places in this city.
Did you see him throw that first pitch though?
He was drafted by the Rockies. If he didn't throw a good pitch, we'd have issues.
That's true.
Have issues.
I like Russell. I think he's gonna be fine.
I guess, man.
I hear people, dude. Where do we have to go but up?
That dude. I've seen too much of him. I've just seen too much of him. Like I'll see, and I think it's great. You know, I saw him at Children's Hospital. I see him at baseball games. I'm seeing him. TJ, I saw a big picture of him when I came in Denver's airport. Him and Sierra in a store, and I'm going. I just can't get rid. I can't shake this dude. He's everywhere.
Hey, you know, he's becoming the man of the people.
I hope so, because if he stinks, Pittsburgh's gonna he'll be crucified worse than Cordell Stewart.
Can't be worse than what we had last year.
I'm not saying
no
that.
way.
I'm saying he will be crucified worse than Cordell Stewart.
I'm telling you, that was even in Denver. A lot of that was Peyton. Did you see who they just traded for? Who the Broncos just traded for?
Oh yeah, that dude stinks,
dude.
Yeah,
but Peyton is arrogant enough to think, well, I could fix this guy, and that's the problem. I don't
know, man. I'm just. His PR team is either absolutely spectacular, like he's everywhere.
Wouldn't you want their PR team working for the Yinzer Bros?
No, that's too much. I don't want my face everywhere like that. Because what will happen is pictures like the pictures at the restaurant will get leaked out, and they'll be like, "That's not Tim. Who's that guy? Who's that guy that looks like that's dressed as Tim? Look like an Oompa Loompa."
That looks like the guy that ate Tim. What happened to Tim?
A couple guys that ate Tim. But my hands look like Lego guys. They were like really small, like Lego people.
Just a bad angle, Tim. It was just a bad angle.
But you sent that picture like 7 times from 7 different angles. I thought it was the same picture. I thought you were just messing with me. And then I kind of looked closer into people's faces, and I was like, well, that person's facial person is different. These are all from different pictures.
Tim even had the audacity to ask me, he goes, "Did you Photoshop this?"
I did. I thought somebody gave me elephantitis in my body. My head was a stain. It was little. My arms were little. I look like a miniature T-Rex just sitting there with my belly. Like I look like Alfred Hitchcock. That's what I look like.
It was bad. It was bad.
It was a bad picture. That's the only complaint I had at that restaurant. That woman that took that picture.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a tough look, man. Speaking of that, Mush wants to know, wasn't there any weight limit on the whip? And seems like there should have been.
I'll tell you what, if there was a weight limit, we were pushing it. That's all I'm going to say. Those bolts were just hanging on.
I mean, I thought we were going to get ripped over into the Mon. They're going to whip us right into the Mon.
I did. I thought we were going to break their most nostalgic ride.
Oh man, that thing was
lifetime ban from Kennywood. Why you broke the whip?
All right. He wants to know, did anybody get a Fields or Wilson jersey at the fan shop?
I had a Fields in my hand, but I was like, you know what? I'm to a place now. I want jerseys of guys I know are going to be here. So I just don't know yet.
I saw them and I'm like, there's no way. After I got to come back and I got to stare at that number 8 jersey all the time. I can't.
You should have brought it with you. You could have sold it on the strip.
Ain't no TJ. I would have had to pay somebody to take that off my hands for me.
Primanti's was giving like $25 away for a Pickett jersey.
I missed it by a day, or I would have taken it back. Can you imagine if that picture that you took of me and I had that Pickett jersey on? You wouldn't be able to see the 8.
Let's just say it would be a really big, wide 8.
I don't know. It may have been swallowed in my body. He also wants to know, what grade do you give the Steelers team so far in free agency? Good question.
Boy, they made some. I mean, dude, they upgraded their QB room. Queen was a big signing. Mm-hmm. Hey, they got rid of their punter, which is great. They signed a decent punter.
They got rid of all the dudes on the list.
They did.
They got rid of 29. 29 said I remember him saying today he signed with the Denver that is his dad's favorite team. I'm going,
hallelujah.
Your dad's gonna hate. They're gonna hate you because you suck.
I don't fully understand the timing for Deontay Johnson. I don't understand that. Mm-hmm. Other than that, though, I'm going to give them a B+, maybe an A-.
I'm going to go with a B+. Like I said, I don't think it's over yet.
No. I think they're still in play for a receiver.
Yep. And will the Yinzer Bros be back in Vegas this season?
I think we're planning on it.
I think we're planning on it, man. We will see. But I know we are definitely talking maybe about a potential 2027
across the pond
to Ireland.
Yeah, across the
Maybe to see
pond.
maybe to see the Steelers play.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds
Can
like a
you
magical trip. I mean, hey,
can picture us two? Green is not our color, but we'll have to figure it
no.
out, man.
Well, by
Whew.
then, Tim, we'll probably be svelte. We won't be as big as we are now.
I'm gonna be as big as a house. I can't run or walk right now. Next time you see me, I may not even have a screensaver anymore. It may just be me. Just
You may have a TLC show, Tim.
oh, good God, man, my wife's gonna love me.
She will.
All right, no, that's all. That's kind of what wraps up the Yinzer mailbag.
Okay.
So, thank you to the mush.
Okay. Again, if you have any questions or comments or for us, the Yinzer Bros, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. And if you're lucky enough, you'll get your question read on this international podcast.
Hmm.
So now let's talk about our mock drafts. So Tim and I, we decided to do some mock drafts. How
Okay.
many did you do, Tim? Like 17?
No, you know what? I did three. I could.
Okay, you
I
did
could have
three.
done. I could have done 100 of these things.
I know.
I was like, I got to stop myself.
So what we're gonna do is let's do our best one. Okay. Let's do our pick your best one. I did like maybe five.
Okay.
Because they're kind of addictive actually. So
I
the,
mean, it's whoever thought of that draft machine simulator. I I could do that all the time.
it's
But
like
with other
fire.
stuff, like if you gave me a draft simulator of like your best I don't know Disney characters, I could do that all day. Just be there, just drafting Disney characters.
Your best Disney character.
Best favorite foods, I could do that all day. Be great.
All right. So Tim, you want to give me I'm gonna just give you my first one. I think it was decent
Do
actually.
we want to go? We want to? Are we just gonna go your full draft and then?
Why don't we go each one, like your first pick? Oh yeah, give me your one and I'll do mine. Good. Who was your first guy in your draft?
All right. So I had the opportunity to make a little trade.
Okay, so you traded.
So I moved down three spots, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, with I believe it was with Denver to the 27th. I'm sorry, seven slots to the 27th pick, but I gained the 57th pick
Okay.
as I slid down.
Okay.
So with the 27th pick, I took Graham Barton,
The big guy
the
from Duke,
kid
right?
from Duke.
Yeah.
I would be, I,
Would he be your center or would he be your tackle?
he's going to be my center. He's going to be
Okay.
my center.
He's a big. He's like 6'5" or something, isn't
To me, what I saw with that kid, I mean, I've seen that he tested. Well, I don't know what the heck they call the test, but he
he?
tested higher at center than anybody the past like 25 years.
Yeah, very athletic. Yeah.
So to me, I have watched too much of crappy center play destroy our running game,
Yeah.
our quarterback pockets.
Hmm.
Since Marquise Pouncey left, I think you need it. You got to get it. He's smart. I think he can anchor your line for the next 15 years. That was my first pick.
I like it. Who was your second pick?
So with pick 51, I took Patrick Paul, offensive tackle from Houston.
Okay. Okay.
So to me, I wanted to shore up that other side. Um,
What are his
uh,
specs?
I don't know. He's big.
Okay.
He's big. He's a big kid. So that was my second pick.
Cool. Third.
With that third that I got from the trade, I took Chris Jenkins, defensive tackle from Michigan.
Hmm.
I think they need to get more younger, bigger. He's a big guy, 300-pounder on that defensive line. Somebody that can sit there anchor, but he can play all five techniques, they're saying also, even being that big. So he fluctuates between like 285, 300. I think
That,
he's going to
that
be
that sounds close to where you fluctuate. I kid. I kid.
I don't know. I'm petrified to step on a scale right now. Petrified. So with my fourth round pick, I believe it's my fourth round pick, I took Ricky Parcel, wide receiver out of Florida.
Hmm.
I think this kid could be taken in the second round. I think he's the best route runner in the friggin' draft. Quick feet. Kind of to me has a little bit of an Odell Beckham feel to him, but I think his route running is more like Deontay Johnson. I like him a lot. So that was my
Sounds like he
fourth
could be a
pick.
steal.
I think so. The 84th pick, I took a cornerback out of Kentucky, Andrew Phillips,
Hmm.
bigger kid, 6'3",
I like
I
those
think he's
big
about
corners.
190. So he's got that kind of Joey, I think that Tice, Joey Porter, he's got that avatar type of look out in corner. Um, so he was that pick there with the 178th pick. which I think is that may be the fourth rounder. I took Tommy Eckensberg, linebacker from Ohio State.
He's a big kid.
Um, Figure we need at some point a thumper. I mean, I like the guy from Miami, but I think he's down to his second or third contract or whatever. I think this guy could be a thumper. Could be opposite of Queen. Um, and my last pick, I took another D tackle out of Florida State, Fabian Lovett. To me, he's a big body. I think they need to get younger on the defensive line. Just me. I I'd be happy them getting some beef up there. That's the one area I think Cam, thinking this may be last year for Cam, may have one more year. You
Yeah.
need to get younger in that defensive line. You need to start building. You need to start building that side of the ball up. So that was my draft in total. I was kind of happy with it. I thought it was pretty good.
I think
So,
it's a solid draft. You got some extra picks. You went down and
yep.
you covered all the holes. So
Mhm.
I didn't know the rules of engagement, so I didn't take any drafts. I probably or any deals. I probably
I
should have.
wasn't in. I mean, I just to move down
That's
a couple
okay.
spots
Take
for the
it.
pick. I was like, yeah,
Take it. Let's hope it goes
yeah.
like that. So mine is just straight. I didn't grab any extra picks or anything like that. I went a little different route.
Mhm.
My first pick, with the 20th pick, I picked Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver
I
from LSU.
I had him staring in my wheelhouse. I like him, TJ, but there's just something about him. He reminds me too much of Pickens, and that's to me. I want somebody that's the
He is
opposite
like
of him.
Pickens. Yeah, he is
Yeah.
like Pickens, which is the only, he's not necessarily the crisp route runner, but he's a threat.
Mhm.
He's a downfield threat. So I grabbed him at 20. I grabbed Zach Fraser from West Virginia
Okay.
at
Yeah.
51. Again, you talk about anchors to be a center.
Mhm.
I like him. I think even more than Johnson.
Okay.
But that's just me. He's got the specs. He's got a wrestling background. I mean,
Mhm.
I like wrestlers up in the trenches. One little different. In the third round, I grabbed Kieran Amagetti. He's a big offensive tackle for Yale. He's
Yep.
got the size. He's about 6'5". Again, I think Yale, I'm thinking smarts. You got to be pretty
Yep.
smart. He's a right tackle, throw a man to the left, and
Mhm.
you know what? And then sit down, do floppy right now. Then at the fourth round, I went with last year, Joey Porter's counterpart from Penn State, Kalen King, just a
Mhm.
solid cornerback.
Yep.
Um, I think they work well together in tandem. I thought, maybe it's a way to there's already some chemistry, some camaraderie there. Not the biggest one.
Yep.
I think Tice from last year is going to be
Yeah.
decent. He's got the same specs as Joey Porter Jr. And then with the fifth round pick, I went a little different. I went toward pedigree,
I see.
and
I'm hoping. I hoping you're not going to say the guy that I was staring at a lot of my mock drafts around round 5, round 6. I saw this
yeah,
guy kept popping up. I'm kind of going, hmm.
he just again, if he has his brother's speed and has a pedigree, Luke McCaffrey, I think is going to be interesting. He could be a
That was
sleeper.
not the guy that I was thinking of. But go ahead. That
Who are
interests
you
me.
thinking of?
I thought you were going to say the guy from the quarterback from Tennessee.
Oh, I did see
Um,
him. Yeah,
because
I couldn't. You know what? I think they're okay for. I
here's the
think the
thing.
three.
Here's something to keep in the back of your mind. I believe when they start summer programs or OTAs in that area,
Mhm.
you have to have a rookie in there because you can't have a veteran come in before some a certain point in time. So they're going to get a rookie at some point. Either
Yeah.
they're going to get him late in the draft or they're going to get
Or
him.
they'll pick up somebody that's undrafted and bring him
Yeah,
in. Who knows? Then I grabbed another Penn Stater. I grabbed Curtis Jacobs he's a
that's too
decent
much.
sized linebacker.
That's too much Penn State. Too much Penn State.
I'll tell you who I really liked, and I actually mocked him in a couple of the drafts, and you grabbed him, that Tommy Eckenberg guy from Ohio State. He's
Hmm.
just big. He's a
Yeah.
6'3", thumper. It's hard to, I think, get away from those guys. Um, the other guy too, I kind of dangled with, other than McCaffrey was Thrash from Louisville, because
Okay.
he's got like the specs, almost like the Johnson specs. And then I finished everything up with Jarius Monroe, cornerback from Tulane. So again, you got to click all the things. Of all these guys, the one that I'm probably the most unsure of that really matters is
Hmm.
probably the kid from Yale. But again, I figure you throw some stuff to it, you see what happens. Again, if they go for Brian Thomas, then I think it takes a little pressure off of this having to pick up this stud wide receiver. Now, what is interesting to me in these mock drafts, you can go a bunch of different ways. So there's,
Yeah.
sometimes I led with like Latham, other times I led with Mims. I mean, just it really depends on how things are going to fall. And here's the reality: we have no idea how it's going to
No,
fall.
no, we don't.
Like last year, I mean, I'll tell you what, the cards fell so
They
great
did.
for the Steelers last year. It was amazing.
They did.
So the hope is that they can kind of pull something out. Let me ask you a question. Do you foresee any scenario where do you think it's more probable for the Steelers to trade up or trade back?
I mean, I saw the rumor that today that they're talking about looking with the Broncos at 12 to get that cornerback out of Toledo, which for me, they got too many holes to fill. I don't want to give up a second round pick and my first round pick to move up to you know
Yeah.
to 12 to get a corner. I just that's just me. I would think. Let me get it this way. It depends on where they're leaning. I think if their guy is gonna be gone at 13, when I think their guy, I'm thinking one of the tackles.
Who do you think they're targeting? Which tackle do you think they're targeting? If you give me their top two.
I think the guy from Oregon State, if he falls, they would you run the card up to the desk.
Yeah.
You run it up to the desk. Do I think Mims from Georgia? I like him, but it gets me nervous, man. 8 games is he only played 8 games in college.
Yeah.
Um, in my personal opinion, I'd rather have the kid from Duke than him.
Yeah. What
Um,
about the kid from Alabama too? He's a little more
if
battle
he's
tested as
there,
well.
if he was there, I'd probably get that card turned in also.
Yeah.
But I still think it depends how far you're talking about moving down. If you're moving down 4 or 5 spots to get a third rounder or second round additional pick, which I think you would, if you move down 3 or 4 spots, my guess you're probably gonna get a third rounder,
Yeah.
additional third rounder. Um, if you can assure yourself, to me, if you move down, you can assure yourself the kid from Duke, or you can assure yourself one of those centers, or even a wide receiver. You know, I'd go for it. But I really like too the kid from South Carolina. It's a wide receiver, kind of
The
built like
Leggett, is that the Leggett?
kind of built like Debo, man.
Yeah. I
Like
like him a
that
lot
kid
too.
too.
Yeah.
Um,
And you should be able to grab him in the second round, don't you think?
I would think, but it depends what you're doing in the first round. If you take a tackle in the first round, TJ, you have to take a center in the second round
Yeah,
because
you do.
that those three pedigree. It's you got the kid from Duke, you got kid from Oregon, and you got the kid from West Virginia.
You
Those
do have
guys,
that one kid though from Georgia that's probably going to be
Parcel,
in a third round.
I, but to me, you want to grab one of those dudes because you know one of those dudes are going to be bare minimum all pros for.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
You know what
I
I mean?
agree.
They're going to anchor your line. So to me, if you're taking a tackle, you got to take that center. I think you can get a receiver in the third round. I
Yeah,
really
I
do.
agree. I agree.
Um, but like I said, I put it this way. Let me. If they somehow trade for Ayuk, they're not going to give their first round pickup for
No,
Ayuk
they're
and
not.
pay him 25 million.
Well,
They may give
it's ridiculous. Nobody's going to give them a first round pick for Ayuk. Nobody.
they may give him a second,
I
and
would not be I would not be opposed to a second and giving him the money because here's the reality. If you get a good receiver, you're going to have to pay him anyway.
I get you. But to me, if you give him a second, that right there would tell me I would move back in the first round, pick up your center. You're going to be stuck a little bit with who you got at left, who you got at tackle now.
Dan Moore,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Hopefully you can grab one in the third round. If you can move back in the first round, keep a first round pick in that top 30, grab an additional third round pick.
I think it'd be worth it.
I think that would be worth it. But I don't. To me, it's like I don't think they're gonna. I'd be stunned if they're aggressive going up for a corner. To me, the only way I could see them going up would be getting one of these crazy receivers, like the kid from Washington,
Yeah.
Adunzier or something like that. That's the only thing I can see in my mind. I If I'm the Steelers, I'm sitting put. I think 20 is a good spot for where people are going to fall to you. And that's
Yeah.
where the Steelers have been most successful drafting in those 18 to 20s when dudes just fall to them.
Yeah.
So, in my heart to heart, I think they're going to stay put. But if you're asking me the question, I'll circle around if they move up or better chance of moving up or moving back. Man, I don't know with these guys now.
I mean,
They
Tim,
could move
look at
up.
that face, Tim. Look,
You're
we have
right.
no
I
idea
mean,
what's going on in that guy's face, in his head. We have no idea.
I, I,
Tim,
I, I
he's playing chess. We're playing checkers.
I think TJ, if you want to go, I think they have a better. I think they're more likely to move up than move back.
Yeah. Well, and I think they could do that. Again, it may not be in the first round, but I'll tell you what, they could. I think if you get your top four, the ones that you want, I mean, I don't see any reason why they can't address tackle, center, corner, and wide receiver in the top four
They have the ammunition. They have the ammunition to
or the
move
top
up.
three because we have two third rounders. So,
They have the ammunition to move up if they wanted to.
yeah.
That's what gets me kind of like, hey, but
Mhm. And then I can see them, I could see either a draft day trade
mhm.
or once the draft settles out, for the most part, the stock of these other receivers is going to start to drop. They need to make their deals now because this is a very heavy wide receiver draft. So these guys, like I even think of like Boyd, he's got to
Yeah.
make some decisions, man, because he's going to wait too long and it's going to be like, sorry.
If they don't get a Uke and they draft a receiver second, third round, they will sign Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my
I mean,
mind.
I think they will. But to me, it's like I just like I said, they have the ammunition. They have the ammunition to move up. But man, to me, TJ, they need three good, solid starters out of this draft.
They do.
They do. I mean, because you're not even talking about depth with these guys, which
No.
you get past a lot of their D line is not very deep. Their linebacking core is not very deep. Their
Yeah.
secondary is not very deep.
No.
You know, you get past those guys, heebie-jeebies, man. You gotta you need about three solid people. And the thing that scares me, like you said, you got gaping holes places. You got a gaping hole in the middle of your offense and center.
Yeah.
You have a gaping hole. I don't care what they say about this kid, kid from Carolina they got for no, he's not.
He's at best. He's probably a number three corner
Yeah,
or slot corner. Yeah. The
I mean,
slot, cornerback.
and you need to. I don't think Holcomb's going to be his knee. I mean, his knee's worse than mine. It's you got to think. One of those linebackers go down. What happens?
They're
You're
probably going
done.
to bring Alexander back too. I mean, I think they want to see how everything plays out. And I mean, depending what they do at center too. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they go after that kid from Miami, but you're not going to have him till probably week 5.
That's true. And for those guys too. I mean, they're always going to be looking for edges. You know, that's what the
Yeah.
Steelers do.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, do you get an edge guy at some point too? Because you only have 3 right now. Because I think Golden is still out there as a free agent unless they bring him back
Yeah.
after the draft, which I'd be happy with. You know, I'll let that rotate. After that rotation, those edge guys in the rotation were great last year, all 4 of them.
Would you ever, I mean, just thinking out loud here.
Bud,
No. Would you ever, you know, like trade Highsmith and fill that hole with Golden and Herbig?
no, you got
I mean,
too good. I mean,
it's a lot of salary and you
you
get
got
some draft capital for
if you
him.
want to be truthful, it's not. When you're looking at the guys right now, they got him fairly cheap
Mhm.
for
I
his
mean, but
production.
he would be, he's a pretty heavy number 2, you know, outside backer, edge
Yeah,
guy.
but what did we always search for when we didn't have Highsmith? Is that Robin to Batman?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got him now. You just
Tell you what, Herbig, he's a little undersized, but boy, he impressed the crap out of me. He may have had the biggest defensive player of the year or defensive player of the year against Seattle.
yeah, but I think he's one of them dudes, like you say, with a backup quarterback. He may be good for a couple games. When you see him starting over and over again,
He's a
just with
little
his size,
undersized.
you're
Yeah, he's
gonna,
a little undersized.
they're gonna run the rock right at him, and you're gonna be going, oh, that dude's getting devastated on the outside. So
Yeah.
to me, you got a Robin. I'd be very happy. I mean that having those 2 guys takes pressure off your secondary, takes pressure off a lot of other things.
Oh, it
Go rush the
does.
quarterback. So
No, if we get a little push in that middle, that'd be great.
yep.
Well, I think that's all the time we have time for today. Again, you joined the Yinzer Bros in the mock draft. In just a few days, we will be doing a draft special after the fact
Oh,
when this guy, Omar Khan, has worked some more of his magic. We'll see what he's done. Tim, anything else you'd like to add to this international podcast?
draft night's going to be interesting for me. I'm going to be in a hotel room in Tampa, Florida, watching the draft by myself.
So that probably means you're going to be shirtless with pizza all over your face, sweating, right?
2 out of the 3 could possibly be true of that statement right there.
So you'll be sweating and shirtless. You're probably not having pizza then,
I don't
huh?
think I'm gonna be sweating because, man, that hotel room, I'm gonna get in there and the first thing I'm gonna do is turn it down to about 62.
Well, Tim, I hope it's.
Pizza and shirtless, possibility.
I hear you. Well, don't forget, if you like what you hear, pass along the podcast to your friends, your neighbors, your enemies, everybody. Once
Yes.
again, we're the Yinzer Bros. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number 1 out here. All right.
See ya.